we should cheers first.
Oh, we should cheers.
Non-spawn, though.
Non-spawn.
Non-spawn with our tequila.
Cheers. If you're listening to this on an audio medium.
Oh. Wow.
Look at me.
You
podcasts.
Yeah, you are podcast. Like, if you're watching this on YouTube,
yeah,
you'll see us cheersing a high noon right now.
It's a high nooner.
Yeah. Well, these are delicious. I have the grapefruit because apparently Kristen doesn't like the grapefruit ones. She would drink them if there was like a fire or something.
Yeah, maybe. I might ditch them if there was a fire. I might leave those and get the lime.
Yeah, exactly.
Lime. Anyway,
it's good grief.
It's good grief.
We did it. We're
here. We're recording. Hello, everyone. I just want to say a quick disclaimer. I was telling this to Sarah beforehand, but we're in the business of protecting people's mental health. So if your grief journey does not involve a little bit of humor like ours does, we are not offended if this is not for you, if this is not a podcast that you want to listen to. A lot of how Sarah and I grieve has a lot to do with humor. It can seem kind of dark sometimes. Mm-hmm. I feel like people that grieve like us understand where we're coming from. But if that's not you, that's okay. And we want to protect your journey. And if it's not for you, it's fine. So we'll talk about a lot of facts and fun things and really sad things. But we'll also talk about like fun stuff too.
Yes.
Because this is good grief. It's the whole point.
And our friendship is very like, I can call you and we will crack up about something.
Yeah.
And then just be totally like crying the next minute and unable to even communicate or speak or do anything.
Or have like a really good conversation. And then like 5 minutes later, you'll text me and be like, someone said something really stupid to me and now I'm pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Some idiot
asked
me how many kids I had.
Yes.
And
now I don't know what to say.
Now I don't know what to say, or now my day's ruined.
Exactly.
But then also we do have a dark sense of humor sometimes about it, just because you have to get through it and everyone gets through it differently. And I think us as going through this journey, you've obviously been in it a little bit longer than I have. You know, you see how people handle it differently. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just what works for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's a good disclaimer.
Thanks.
If you don't want to laugh and cry with us, that's okay.
Yeah. Then bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We won't be offended, but just maybe like a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
It's fine.
But yeah, so that's a good disclaimer to put out there first.
And I didn't ask, but how are you feeling from the weekend? Our first Sunday game day.
Yeah.
Sarah came over to my house yesterday for Browns.
Browns at 1.
Eagles at 4.
Both won. So
it's Victory Monday over here.
But yeah, I felt good. I was thankful that obviously for those who do not know, I have a 2-year-old daughter. She's going to turn 3 in October. So, you know, there is a child involved. So you can't get too cray-cray on a Sunday, okay?
That's true.
Especially when you have to drive an hour and 10 minutes to Kristen's house.
Mm-hmm.
So I was happy, though, because when we got to your house, the Browns game was on at like 1. So I still had until like 8 o'clock to recoup.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like I could go hard off the bat.
Start drinking some waters.
Yes. Have some snackies, drink some waters, mellow out, chase some kids around who they stole my purse and the lollipops.
Exactly.
When we weren't watching. But yeah, so I feel good now.
Good.
Because I know Keith was like bringing out the top shelf Don Julio or something.
Yeah. My husband we just redid our basement.
Very nice.
We just finished our basement, I should say. We didn't redo it. It was nothing. And then we finished it. Yes. And so we kind of had like an opening day for football and an opening day for our basement. And he got all the fun drinks.
Of course. And
was on the Traeger smoking lots of meat for those meat eaters.
Yeah.
That we are not.
Yes.
You'll learn that quick.
Yeah. He was leaf blowing on the trampoline so the kids could jump on the trampoline without leaves.
Exactly.
During a Browns game, which that's like super dad.
Super dad.
You know, he's out there with the leaf blower like the Ghostbusters on his back.
He did. I don't even know where he got that leaf blower from. I swear to God, I've never seen it in my life.
You probably need to see your credit card statement. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things.
I was like, I've never seen that one before. And he's just like.
It's not a rinky dinky one. Like we have a little like Ryobi one that's just like
Sensible for your sensible yard.
Yes, that backs up 2 trees.
Yeah,
just like yours.
Just like ours. No need for the Ghostbusters.
There was a Ghostbuster. I think it's just Keith just likes the toys.
He does.
But yeah, so how was the cleanup though this morning?
It was, so we tidied a little bit last night, and I felt like it was okay. And then I went down this morning, and it was just sticky.
It was okay for like 9 o'clock at night.
It was okay for, I was like, this is good.
There's no flies going to be around here. Trash was taken out.
I'm good.
But it was not, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. It was like,
no, it was sticky. It was gross. And it was mainly from my 2 children. Yeah. Crew is 9 months and was spilling grapes on the floor. I looked away for a second. He pulled my drink down onto my lap, onto the floor. It was sticky everywhere. Otto, my 4-year-old, was dumping people's snacks out, their snack cups out all over the floor. I'm like, you turn into an animal. Like, you don't do this at other people's homes. Why are you doing it at our home? I don't know. Yeah. So it was a mess this morning. I did clean up a little bit.
Yeah. It was messy, but as the day went on, like as the night went on, and like things were clearing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Once the meat was gone
and everyone was full.
And the Surfsides were gone, non-spawn, but we love Surfsides.
Yes.
We drank them all, so that's why we're not drinking them now. But we love Surfsides, non-spawn. Like I said, love to be sponsored by Surfside.
We're open to that.
Yeah, we're open. But anyways, we drank all the Surfsides yesterday, so it was starting to be closing time.
Yeah, it was. I need to get a sign. I need to get like a little neon sign that says like open and closed or something, and like put it on the deck.
Yeah, well, we gave you that board to light up the neon
board.
Yep.
She gave us lots of bar accoutrements.
Yeah, we used to have a man cave, which we're currently in. But now it's a child's it's a child's cave. There's one of those like things you see at doctor's offices that like the little beads that go around
it's
the
a must.
Thing. Chalkboards and a little trampoline. So that's what we're dealing with now. But yeah, so I think that'll be the podcast. We will have good times. In the beginning, we'll talk fun stuff, what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think what we wanted to talk about today was kind of how we met. Sort of go through the process of that and just sort of how our lives have intertwined.
Yeah.
But I guess before we get started, do you want to tell us about August?
Yeah.
A little bit. We'll talk more, but just sort of like for people who may not know.
So our main reason for starting this podcast was because we both have daughters who have passed. My daughter is August Grace Carrier. We called her Gus, and she was born August 12th, 2021. And shortly after she was born, we found out that she had a congenital diaphragmatic hernia. And she lived for 12 days and passed away due to complications from some of her surgeries. So, yeah.
What is a congenital diaphragmatic hernia?
So, it is a small hole in the diaphragm so your diaphragm is...
Look at you, a doctor.
I know.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Kristen paging.
Listen. I know all the details about your organs now. Okay. I know all the details, but people don't understand how important your diaphragm is because it literally separates your intestines from all of your major organs, like your heart and your lungs and all that stuff. So
it's very crucial.
It's crucial. Cannot live without it. So she had a hole in hers, which we did not know before she was born. And what had happened was her intestines had come through that hole and were laying on top of one of her lungs. And yeah, it was like a huge shock to us.
Because you didn't know until...
Yeah, till after. Yeah. Which is wild. So what about Summer?
So Summer James Holbeck was born February 23rd, 2023. So 22323. So always love that.
I love that.
Yeah, and Penny, our daughter, is 10/30/20. So they're just good dates. Good dates. So 22323. So I thought that was really cool. But when Summer was born, she had just stopped growing in utero. So I went to get just like an emergency ultrasound, see what was going on. And they had said, she wasn't growing. They thought maybe my placenta just wasn't giving her what she needed. So when she was born, she was 4 pounds, 7 ounces. So because she was so tiny, they just needed to take her to the NICU. If you're above 4'9", you do not need to go to the NICU, at least at our hospital. But since she was 4'7", they were just going to take her for monitoring. But it was pretty like relevant at the time. Like you knew that something was wrong. And so, and we'll talk more about this of signs and things that we knew, like in utero and whatever. But yeah, so Summer ended up having a genetic disorder called BRAT1, which is extremely rare. And it makes it even more extremely rare because, you know, with parents, both parents need to carry a bad gene to possibly, you know, pass that gene on to your child. Well, Doug does not carry the BRAT1 gene. I do. So they call it a de novo mutation. So Summer mutated the BRAT1 gene that I carry that lays dormant in me because I only have one. So Summer mutated it herself.
So crazy.
Which is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah.
So pretty much what BRAT1's big thing is, it's just uncontrollable seizures. So it's a lot of seizure activity, it's a lot of medication, and then eventually just the medication can't help. And yeah, it's they say it's like a 4 to 5 month is what you're given, like a lifespan, I guess, if you're on the severe case like Summer. And she was on 5 weeks. So she passed away pretty early because she was on the severe side. So yeah, and this is something that I always talk about, and I'm feeling it now.
Oh no.
That like, and I can talk about, when somebody asks me, I can talk about it like this. No emotion, emotion, but I can feel it. And like, I feel it, but I'm talking just like, yeah, my daughter died. She had uncontrollable seizures. It was really bad. Yeah, it sucks.
So how's your day?
Yeah. But like, I'm like, sorry, I'm so plainly. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And I'm like, sorry, I'm talking about it so plainly because I will absolutely literally just sit here and cry and sob and not be able to get out of it if I allow myself to, which we have those moments often.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like even just talking now about it, like I'm just talking about it very plainly because I just need to get through the intro of it.
Right.
And I'm sure once we dive in deep a little bit. But
I think it helps though too, like when people ask or when you do bring it up to someone and you're speaking about the facts of it, that helps me more. Like when people ask questions and I'm like, let me tell you the facts, that helps me get through it.
Yeah.
Because if I just sit there and say my daughter died, like then I can feel it welling. Like I can feel the lump in my throat.
You're taken back to the moment.
Okay. And like, but if someone is like, oh, what was her name? How did she pass? Like asking more questions about it actually helps me feel more at ease, which is weird.
Yes.
There are times when people have asked me about it. I'm like, I don't really want to talk about it right now. But for the most part, being factual is actually helping.
Yes. And also I think like you saying, when you say you don't want to talk about it right now, that probably does not happen often because like you like to talk about it. But sometimes if you just tell like somebody's not in the right space or doesn't deserve it, or they just don't even understand, like sometimes if it's somebody who's like not a parent, like no offense, like I just know you might be sad about the passing of August, Summer, any child, but like until you have that child, it's a whole different ball game. But going back to grief in general as a whole, like, you know, of grief of a parent, a grandparent, a dog, a cat, like an animal, anybody, a teacher, somebody you really loved, like there's all different stages. And sometimes, you know, you just can give your emotions to somebody, but maybe not somebody else.
Yeah, that's so true. And you can't pick and choose beforehand. It's in the moment kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You're like, well, how much time do you have? You know, and sit you down and tell you all the things about it. Or it's like, you know, when somebody asks you like, oh, how many kids do you have? Or for me, it's like, you going to try for a girl? And it's like,
I did try, but it didn't work out. Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Yeah. Let me just ruin your day really quickly. Just hold on.
Yeah.
You have 5 minutes. I'm going to ruin your whole life.
Yes.
Like that.
Or if you're in that mindset, or sometimes you can be like, maybe someday, or I'm fine with the boys, or you can, whoever deserves.
I usually just laugh.
I
just laugh it off. I go, haha, yeah.
Yeah, haha.
So funny.
Yeah, that is so funny. But I have a daughter somewhere.
Yep.
So I think that's a little bit about the girls.
Yeah.
But I think we should talk about and like a little bit about how we met
Mm-hmm.
and how similar our stories are, that like it has to be something like divine intervention,
Soulmates,
the Big Bang or something.
yeah,
maybe.
Or I don't know. I'm still just pretty pissed that you didn't invite me to your wedding.
Yeah, and I wasn't invited to your wedding either, but like we didn't know each other, so
no,
not possible. But
it just feels like we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. When I see pictures, Kristen just had her anniversary and she posted a picture, and I was like, weird, didn't get an invite.
I was supposed to be there, I think.
It's so weird. Supposed to be in there and, in the photos, but I mean, it's fine. I'm not hurt about it.
It's fine. It's not like I missed out on a cool party. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell them how we met? I feel like you're a better storyteller than I am anyway.
I think I'll start just because I started where we met first.
Okay.
So we met at QVC.
Shouts out.
Yeah, shout out to QVC.
We love you, QVC.
We do like QVC a lot. Especially because we met there, but we made some good friends there as well. So we both currently are not working at QVC. No. So we're both working other places, but we love QVC. So I started working at QVC. My husband, Doug, was working at Liberty Mutual. He was traveling a lot. But then he got a work from home job. So I was like looking for something new. We started, I was maybe like 20. Well, we were like 28 maybe.
Yeah. 27, 28.
Yeah. So, Artie was married, and, I loved TV. I loved behind the scenes. That's what I wanted to always watch, like behind the scenes of different shows. So got a job at QVC as a studio coordinator, which pretty much you're the one who each show that's on the air, you're in charge of like the product, setting up the tables, getting the cameras ready, doing the host cards. So when they're up there, they kind of know like if they're selling shirts, like this is the shirt color names. Just sort of running like the studio floor under obviously supervision of other producers. But it was a great job. And we were older too, because everyone else was a lot younger. They were like right out of
fresh out of college,
like 21 years old. And, here I am, and here Kristen is like, we're married. We're about to turn 30. Like we have lives, no kids at the time.
Other responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah. But
so I was working, I don't know if I was on overnights, or I think I might've been on day shift at this time.
Yeah.
I had just finished like training. So when there was like 3 different shifts, like day, prime, and overnights, and then there was 2 shifts of day because they were wasn't it 2 or 3 shifts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then, but you had 2 sides of the week, the front end or the back end. So, I was on like day shift front end. So it was like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I think, Kristen had started briefly after me, but she was on like prime shift, maybe on the other end. So like we never crisscrossed paths.
No.
So then you had started, and I didn't know anything about Kristen. So now Kristen can kind of take over her take of how.
Yeah, I remember we were like just briefly talking about this a couple of days ago too, but it was Kristen Baker. There was a lot of Kristens that worked there.
Shout out Kristen Baker.
Hi, Kristen Baker. If you ever listen to this,
she's like in London or something, isn't she?
She's just living her life.
Yeah, she's all over. We love it.
So I was being trained by somebody else, and Kristen Baker had come up to me, this other girl, and she was like, "Have you met Sarah yet?" And I was like, "No, who's Sarah?" And she's like this really cute redhead, and I don't know, I feel like you guys would just hit it off. Like she's just got married and you just got married, and I don't know, I just feel like you guys would be like friends. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like sweet. I haven't seen her. I haven't met her. Well, whatever." And it must have been on a Wednesday or something. Yeah. And we
crossover day, both shifts are there on Wednesdays.
Yeah. And it was like, what did I say? I think I like made everyone laugh. I said something
like, "Hey, we should be friends" or something.
Well, beforehand, remember you said that I said like a funny joke, and you kind of like spun around like, who's this girl that made everybody laugh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And why wasn't it me?
Yeah. I'm the only one that can allow this whole, what do we call that? The cube. The cube.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's allowed to make anybody laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And pretty gutsy too, but very Kristen Carrier of you to just like crack a joke when you first started.
I don't remember what I said, but she like spun around and she like kind of looked at me, and I was like,
You were like, I think
I was like, you're
friends.
Sarah, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like, Kristen Baker told me that we are supposed to be friends.
Yes. And then we started comparing all of our like similarities together.
Yeah.
The weird thing is I'm from Delaware, born, raised in Newark. So for me, traveling to Westchester is like an hour and 10 minute drive, but it was worth it because it was 410s for the shift. The pay was decent, and the people were great, and I got to do what I love. So it was like a win-win. So it was really nice. So for me to be in Westchester is kind of random, but I think obviously it's more random for you.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, born and raised in Ohio. My husband, Keith, and I are both from Ohio. And we moved to Pennsylvania for his job. We've kind of like moved back and forth from Pennsylvania to Ohio, back to Pennsylvania. But I was living in Warrington, which was like also like 45 minutes to an hour away with traffic. And I was working in the news in Ohio. And when we moved to Pennsylvania, I was like, I cannot work in the news anymore. I was like depressed and didn't know it. Like it was not a fun time.
The news is depressing.
The news is depressing, obviously. Like just turning on the news for a second, you can figure that out now. But so I was looking at different jobs, and I was thinking maybe doing freelance. I was looking into production companies like down in Philly, and like a friend of Keith's worked at QVC in like merchandising or something. And I was like, they had told me about it, and I was like, I would love to work at QVC.
Oh yeah.
Like that is awesome. Like that sounds amazing. It's literally not life or death, which is awesome.
Yep.
You're just selling stuff to some ladies.
Love that.
Yep. And I was like, okay, I'm in. I had applied like to 3 different positions at QVC before I knew this person.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I never got called back. But this person who was like my pushed my resume through and helped and was like, watch out for this one. Like this person's qualified.
Yeah.
And I got the job there. And I was so excited. So to come from Ohio
to Westchester
was kind of wild.
And I don't even know if I knew that part about your resume being pushed through, because I was working for a show on the DIY channel. Right. And down the beach, and a house that we had renovated was somebody at QVC. Know the name, don't think they work there anymore, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But they were like, you're really good here, like working on the show at the beach.
That's right.
I work at QVC. Like, would you want to come work up there? And I was like, yes. So she's like, put your resume in, put my name on it. Like, they'll pull it. And I was like, okay. So that's crazy. We both started there based upon like a recommendation as well.
Yeah, it's hard
or a referral, I should say.
I didn't know that it was so hard to get in there, but it is.
I don't think it's difficult now.
No, you're right. The turnover wasn't as big as it is currently.
Yeah. So worked at QVC. Then we were like inseparable. We were doing things together. Like we didn't have kids at the time.
Yeah, like, I think it was like we had really hit it off, and we had seen each other more at work, and we were really liking each other.
Yeah.
And then at one point we were like, okay, so we need our husbands to like each other or we're done. Like we can go no further.
Do you remember how we introduced them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We tricked them.
Yes.
We tricked them.
We went to the mall. we went to we got tickets. Yeah, we went to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, that's right.
And bought them like matching.
I totally forgot about this.
So we said, it was like birthday or Christmas or something. It was
Christmas.
And we said, let's buy them like Sixers gear.
Yes.
And give them tickets. We'll just buy tickets to the same game.
Yeah.
Next to each other.
Yes. Right next to each other.
And then I'll be like, hey, my friend.
And Kristen, it ended up being there. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went to Xfinity Live.
Yeah. Which is like this cool, it's like a bar restaurant.
Yes.
Several restaurants
outside.
Right outside of the Sixers.
Yeah. So we went to the game, and we went to Xfinity Live first.
Mm-hmm.
First impression of Keith, I was like, this guy is a lot. And you seem very angelic to me at the time. You're just so like sweet and calm, like a little Libra, just a sweetie pie.
Wow.
And then Keith is like Leo, like, this game is horse shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. I talk like that too, but okay, I just met you. Okay. I'm going to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. But then.
Yeah, he's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But so this is why it's important that like Doug and Keith needed to be friends, because Keith is like my true north when it comes to meeting new people.
Yeah.
Like if he meets somebody and he's like not down with them, he'll
your friends.
Yeah. Like I just give my trust to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, burn me, I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
And then like
he gets upset because
he gets upset. He's like, well, you're letting them walk all over you. And I'm like, I don't know. I must get this from my mom, because my mom is a sweet little angel. So that's where I must get my angelic side.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out Shan. But yeah, so he's like, he can just spot like a bad egg really quickly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if Keith can like Doug and Doug can like Keith, being as opposite as they are, I'm like, this friendship is made.
Yes.
Like we are good.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a point when we were at the game, and I think we were leaving to go back to Xfinity afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were having such a good time.
Yes.
And I was like, Keith said, let's go back to Xfinity for drinks. And I was like,
wow,
I nudged her. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah,
I'm like, yes. Like he wants to hang out more.
Yeah.
This is great. I like took like a little video of them like walking next to each other.
Yes.
They're like walking out, and I was look at this bromance, this budding bromance.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah.
And then we were just all friends together.
Yeah.
Which was nice. So then we started hanging out still, and then you got pregnant with Otto.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I surprised you.
Yes.
With that.
We were running. I was like going to go for a run at your house.
I told you to come over for a run.
Yeah. And I was like, fine, that's what we do, I guess, at that age. We don't have kids. Like, let's just go for a casual run.
I was like, come over and run, and then we'll like have a couple of drinks
and play heads up on our cell phones.
Right.
And then you said something like, don't go too fast on me. You have it on video.
Yeah, I do. I have a video. I should like put it on our I should put it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
If you don't follow us on our Instagram, you should follow Good
Yes.
Grief Pod. But yeah, it was
yeah, you're just like, well, hope you take it easy on me because I'm pregnant or something.
Yeah. Keith was out of town
and you wanted to,
for work, and I was like, I gotta tell, we have to show Keith that we're working out and like we're like working on ourselves while he's gone.
Love that.
And
I'm
like,
all for that. I'm like, yes, we don't need to show him, but let's do it.
Yeah. I'm like, let's like take a quick video. And she's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we were like telling him like, hey, look, we're gonna go for a run. And I'm like, yeah, I hope she takes it easy on me because I'm pregnant. And she was like, your face.
Yeah, that was a good
like,
one. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, you're not the one that like, you can't pull a surprise on.
Yeah.
You typically can sniff it out.
Yeah, I could have, but apparently not that time.
Yep.
But yeah, so when you got pregnant with Otto, and then you guys moved into your new house when he was like 6 months or something.
Mm-hmm,
and
yeah.
I helped you paint the nursery.
Yeah.
And did the stickers freehand.
Amazing. I was like, this girl's an artist.
It's more that I just am like not anal about anything. So I'm like, yeah, this sticker looks about even. Like you did like a triangle. We just painted like a mural or something.
Yeah.
With painter's tape, and you were just like, this looks beautiful.
I know.
I
would have like been measuring it, and like I would have been there, and you literally threw it up there. And
just eyeballed it. I think the Trulies, that was back when we drank Trulies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've been, through this journey a lot together. Like, obviously going to the games, meeting at QVC.
It's so weird
that
we are friends and like
that we just connected randomly.
Yeah.
Yes. So we both are vegan. We went vegan around the same time because Kristen had given up meat for like a week or two when Keith was out of town. And I was like, I want to try that. So then we both went vegetarian, and then we went vegan like that January, and we both are vegan since. Yeah. So we just kind of always have that as our connection, which is really something that we always talk about, share recipes, whatever. So then I think we could go on and on about all the stuff that we've done together. But let's take a quick break.
Okay, yeah, let's take a break.
And we can kind of get into how our stories really intertwine together to kind of make this whole story unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be back. How was the message from our non-spawn Surfside?
It's probably really good.
Yeah.
They're probably really excited to be working with us.
They are. So we'll just keep putting it in the universe Surfside.
Surfside, we love you.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so also Surfside is the biggest sponsor of the Phillies, I think. They really love the Phillies.
Yeah,
so
they're like
everywhere.
all over the stadium.
Yes, so that's the Phillies, Surfside, Good Grief podcast. I don't know what the connection, like we are so similar, the Phillies and Good Grief. It's like, what?
It's insane. I don't understand why they haven't reached out to us.
Yes, already. The market. Yeah. But to tie up kind of how our worlds collided, how everything sort of just came together is, we didn't have to meet. We didn't have to be friends. I didn't have to work at QVC. You didn't have to move here from Ohio. Mm-hmm. But we did. You did, we worked there. So I think, ironically, your husband Keith lost his dad, I think like 2 days before August was born. I mean, right, 2 days before August was born. Because it was August 19th. He passed. Unless that's his birthday.
No.
I just saw the obituary on your fridge yesterday.
Yeah, but he passed in 2020.
Oh, so was his birthday the 19th?
Yeah.
Okay. So he passed like a year before August was born.
But he passed when Otto was 6 months.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So this is the connection even more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, no, he passed in 2019.
But Otto was here, though.
Otto was here.
Yeah. Because he was born March of 2019. Mm-hmm. So Keith's dad passed away 6 months after Otto was born.
Yes.
And Doug's dad passed away 2 months after Penny was born. Right. So our oldest daughter, Penny. So that right there is like just a huge shock, and especially for them, because here we are like postpartum raising, having these babies while our husbands are raising their first kids, and they're going through such a devastating blow.
Yeah.
So it's always really a nice distraction.
Yeah.
The kids are a nice distraction, but also like there's still a lot of deep, wounds and hurt from that. So
I can't imagine. I know that as a man, losing your father is huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yeah. So it was definitely a big blow for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we kind of shared that, which was weird. You started it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oops, sorry. All my bad luck is rubbing off on Sarah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you started that.
Yeah.
And then when you got pregnant with August, and then she passed away on the August 24th.
Yeah, 2021. And Sarah was like, and is such an amazing friend. And like a lot of people, she did not know what to do.
Yeah.
With someone who is grieving like I was, like through the most unimaginable, like losing a child is terrible. And it's so unexpected, and not a lot of people know what to do or say, or they don't know how to support others when someone's going through that. And there really is not any good way that you can.
Yeah.
But Sarah did such an amazing job of being such a pillar for me. She was always there just to talk to, and would literally text me daily, even about stupid stuff, like whatever, and just getting me talking. She set up like a year of gifts for me that they came every month on August, like milestone birth date. And it was amazing. Like I was going through such a terrible, terrible time, but had a friend that was there to support in just the best way that she knew how, which was just to be there and to be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on. You like got my schedule full of stuff. Like, let's go to the beach. Like, let's get you out of the house. So that was really nice. And then turn around and you lost Summer. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So now the tables are turning, and I was like, I at least know how to support her in the way that she supported me. Because even now, there are days when I'm like, I don't know what to say to her. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You both lost children, and like I'm like, I don't know. I'll just send her like a meme.
Yeah. Something funny. Or just check in.
But it's so nice to have, and so rare to have a best friend that is going through the same terrible thing.
Yeah. And I know this is like, I understand it because the humor.
Yeah.
But you even said, like, I hate that you're going through this, but I'm happy. I hate it. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say the word happy, but I feel like I'm not alone right now. Like, you understand.
Yeah.
What I'm like, finally somebody understands the magnitude of just how I'm feeling right now.
And not just somebody.
Yeah.
My best friend.
Yeah.
One of my best friends knows exactly the kind of terrible pain waking up can be every day.
Yeah.
Like, that is just super rare. And like, it's so awful to say that I'm thankful that I have you now.
Yeah.
Wish it never happened.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean by saying that. But,
yes, of course.
But yeah, it's so crazy that, and our friends and our family are like, we're so glad you guys have each other. Yeah. Like, how many times have you heard that? Like, for sure, thank God you guys have each other.
Yeah, because we all crazy it that you and Kristen both lost babies. I'm like, I don't know, but I don't want to find out the odds anymore.
Yeah, you guys want to come hang out with us?
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah. Don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water that we're drinking.
Do not drink it.
Apparently.
So I think though, like, when Summer was in the hospital, because Summer and August, we'll talk later. They just have different stories. Obviously, the same horrible ending. But August, she tried to fight, and she just couldn't after her surgery. And then Summer, we didn't know what was wrong with her, but it ended up being just a long battle. I mean, 41 days, so short, but it felt long.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it just, when I would leave the hospital, I would just call you every day and just be like, today was a good day, blah, 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 today's this. And then I was like, I think it was like towards the end when she was like getting really sick, I was like, I just have a really bad feeling that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember calling you like, right after we got the diagnosis that she was really sick. Like, it was always like you that I called first. I mean, like, if my mom was there, or Doug, we all knew. But if it was like nobody else could understand, like, you just have to shut out the world.
Yeah.
And shout out to my sister-in-law, Michelle. She texted everybody when everything was going on.
Yeah.
You delegate like a liaison. Yes.
Like, you delegate a person to send all the news.
Yes, exactly.
Good or bad. And it gets exhausting.
It does. Especially when it's so up and down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's how our stories sort of like intertwined, and like we needed to have each other, because I would probably have to be in like some support group or psychiatric hospital or something if I didn't have you.
Put me in a straitjacket.
Yes, exactly.
No, it's true. And we can like get more in detail with our girls and their stories in later episodes.
Yes.
But we wanted to start this podcast for not just moms, but friends of people that are grieving, for grandmas, for dads, I feel like it's relevant to everyone in some way or another. But I specifically want to help like grieving moms. And I know so many now.
Yes.
Even like miscarriages and my sister, my sister-in-law, myself, you, like we've gone through miscarriages, our friend Emily, like, there are so many people that are grieving in so many different ways. So I want to get some like guests on here.
That'd be fun.
Get some people in and like,
that would be nice.
Have them tell their stories or
and speak about their babies.
Speak about their dads, their uncles, their parents, whoever they're grieving for. And I don't know, I think a couple of the topics we want to talk about are like, the first one that's on our list is being in public after your loss.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the rest of the world functioning around you.
Yes.
And you're just dying on the inside.
Yes. I always call that to my therapist, like, bleeding out.
Yeah.
I am bleeding in the middle of the Target right now.
Yeah. Bad day.
How can nobody see me bleeding?
Yeah.
And they're just walking by, getting in their toddler shoes,
the
cake pops, getting the Starbs. And here I am on the middle of the floor, just like, can't they see that I'm so sad?
Right.
But the life still moves on. So kind of, being in public after grief.
Holidays, milestones.
Answering the question, like, how many children do you have?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. And we kind of, I know, briefly discussed it in the beginning, how it's always a matter of, like, how we feel that day. and how we want to channel that. But I think it'll be really good for us to speak about it. And I'm excited for where it's going to go. And even if 5 people listen, it's still going to be great for us to just talk about it.
And it's like therapy for me.
Yes. It is like therapy for you.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice. Therapy for me as well.
Yeah.
And then also I think it would be a nice, if anything, it'll be a nice thing for like Otto, Penny, Crew, the kids to like look back.
Yeah. I never even thought about
like
that.
Later in life or whatever.
Yeah. To be like, this is how my badass moms were dealing with a terrible time. And we need to talk about, that's a great subject to talk about too, is our older children and how they're grieving and what they're going through and how this will affect them. And
yes.
Yeah, there's so many things that we can talk about, and I'm just excited that we're making the time to do it. We're giving ourselves the opportunity to reach out to so many people that need it.
Yep.
And I'm just happy you're here, listener.
Yes.
Whoever you are, I'm so happy that you're here and you're supporting us. And thank you for being here.
Yes. And also one thing I was literally just thinking about.
What?
That both the girls were at the same hospital.
Yeah.
Had the same doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the same nurses. So that was really interesting because I would be in the hospital and be like, do you know baby August? And they'd be like, oh, yes, August. Her family was so sweet. And I was like, yeah, that's my best friend.
They're like, what?
They're like, well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's something too. Like we walked the same halls with our babies. So yeah, I was just thinking about that connection as well.
And how my heart is still floating. There's a piece of my heart floating around those hallways.
Yeah, you said my heart is still floating around the halls. Yeah. Mine isn't. A lot of my heart is there. August passed away at the hospital. We brought Summer home to pass away. And so still like it's always crazy, but you go back. So every once in a while to deliver.
And I got to go back to see, I didn't get to see Summer when she was there.
You saw her at Christiana though.
I did.
When she was born.
Yeah, I did get to meet her, but I went back to Nemours to see you.
Yes, that was so sweet.
And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk in those doors.
Walked the halls.
Yeah.
So I was like, you don't have to come up. You can just bring me lunch.
I was like, no, it'll be good for me.
Yeah. And you did it.
I did it. Yeah. Life moves on. Your grief will always be there. I think that's a big lesson that we will touch upon consistently in this podcast is it's just how you deal with your grief.
Yeah.
Because our love for our daughters will always be, and the grief will never go away. And if you're a mother specifically who's listening to this podcast and you're grieving the loss of your child and you haven't heard this yet, I think it's very important that you know that your grief will never go away. And that's okay. That's okay. And we're here to say, like, it can be healthy. You can do it in a healthy way. There's going to be bad days.
Yeah.
There's going to be awful days. I still have them, and I'm a little bit further along in my journey than you are. But yeah, like there's still days where like I'll miss a text from you. I'm like, sorry, I was having a terrible day.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got you. I'm like, no, it's fine.
I'll be like, put on a sad song, go in the shower, and just cry your eyes out.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, put the kids to bed and just go cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need. So
get it out of your system.
Yeah. And I'm still newer to the journey. I don't really know how long it's been since she passed. I know it was April 4th, but I don't count that. I don't know how many months it's been. I don't even know. I feel like doing the math right now. It's probably like a million. But I just know she was like, she would be 6.5 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like I'm very new into the journey of it. So I'm still learning how to, work with my grief and work through it. And I think for me, I'm very ritual based. So it's like in the morning, I make my coffee, I put on my playlist. I have a summer sign. I like my summer sign. Like I wear yellow. So I think mine's more ritual based. So I just kind of always do things to remind me of her. So I think it's all mine. Like I said, mine's still new, but I'm still learning to navigate.
Yeah.
And, I think this will be a great podcast. So if you have any like suggestions or you have any like topics that you would like to cover or, anything else, or just even like a random question,
yeah,
feel free to write it in the chat or send us a message, and we'd be happy to talk about it. Even if it's a silly question that doesn't even have to do with grief, just something you want to know, like, can Kristen do
a
backflip?
I can.
Oh.
On a trampoline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so any random question.
See? You didn't know that.
Yeah. Kristen has a trampoline, so we may need proof. Get Keith to leaf blow it first.
Yeah, yes.
And then we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks for joining. Give me hugs.
Huggies.
Love you.
Love you so much. Glad you guys are all here with us.
Yes.
And let's do this. Thanks for listening.
Good grief. Cheers, non-spawn.
Oh, yeah. Cheers. Wish it was a Surfside.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.